What's wrong with the traditional MBA degree today? Good question. I mean, where do I start? This conversation is going to be about what is wrong with the current traditional MBA approach. If you're thinking about getting an MBA, I would seriously give this some consideration. Well, when it comes to the traditional MBA, it's not going to do what it used to do. In the old days, when I say the old days, when it first started to get popular, that was like the late 40s, early 50s. It really started to take off through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It actually had some value to it because not too many people had it. It actually focused on developing management skills and abilities. It took people to the next level, and it still had a decent return on investment. But somewhere along the way, the wheels fell off on that. And what am I talking about there? Well, it started to turn from an additional enhancement and a quick little career boost to almost to the point of now it's a sort of expectation of people that I'm going to go and get an MBA. But here's the thing, it didn't keep up with the times. So when your dad or granddad went and got it, they had decades to milk it. It didn't keep up because nowadays, what used to look like this is now starting to compress. Things are moving so fast, and now with AI, the margin is razor thin. So it didn't keep up with the times, making it outdated. Its relevancy, it's coming into question now because it doesn't necessarily apply to what's going on in the real world. I think there's too much emphasis on theory and not enough on practice. Large part of what I'm creating these channels to do is to get you the knowledge and skills quickly, but more importantly, to apply those skills, because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is your ability to get results, not only for you, but for your organization or your clients. So that's part of where it kind of went off track. It got ridiculously expensive to the point where now people are getting, it's almost like a mortgage on a house, and you're going to be paying it off for decades. That's another problem with it. The other thing, once again, AI is going to come into play, and people that know how to use AI and leverage AI are going to be able to employ MBA tactics without having to have the degree to do it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think that the ability to use it is not necessarily going to replace you, but it is going to be something that's going to enhance you, leverage you, and possibly replicate you to the point where you're going to be able to get a whole lot more done. I think there's going to be a lot more people that are going to come around to the idea that traditional higher education, and I've talked about college and PhDs, ridiculous at this point, and MBAs, I feel pretty much the same way. You're going to be better served by self-curating your education because the traditional MBA just isn't keeping up, doesn't make sense, it's outdated, and you're going to see a lot more people realize that they'd be better served, and this is one of the other problems I have with it, you'd be better served by staying in the workforce and working and getting the skills, the knowledge as quickly as you can and applying it. You'll be in a better situation in 2 years than you would if you go and sit for 2 years like this in a classroom, waiting for things to happen. Actually going out and making it happen is going to be the real advantage. Things change too quickly for you to wait 2 years. I it used to be decades, then it got down to just a few years, and now my view is about every 18 months, maybe even less, you need to be refreshed and upgraded. I always give the analogy of the smartphone. Your smartphone gets updates and upgrades all the time. You have to treat your knowledge and skills and your toolkit the same way. And a traditional MBA is not going to do it. It's a decaying asset that once you go and get it, within, I would think, 18 months, you're probably, at the point where you're going to need an upgrade. And here's the thing. My view is that there are better ways to do it. And one of the ways that I keep myself current is I do courses, I do workshops, I do seminars, I do micro certifications, I do full-blown certifications, constantly sharpening my tools, adding to my skills and abilities, and it makes you apply it right in the moment. The other thing I say to a lot of people is start a small business. Do a little side hustle. Even if it fails, it'll give you an education unlike an MBA. Because an MBA program and traditional degree, you're going to sit for 2 years and you're going to hear theory and you're going to talk theoretical. What you really want to do is be in the real world. Why? A little small side hustle business, you're actually going to have to interact in the real world. You're going to have to deal with customers or clients. You're going to have to deal with suppliers. You're going to have to deal with vendors. You're going to have to deal with employees if you hire them, or contractors. You're going to have to worry about taxes. You're going to worry about legal ramifications. All these different things that you're not going to get from a textbook, but you will get in the real world. So the traditional MBA, the degree, is not the answer. What the answer is finding new ways to get that knowledge and information and get it in a way that is quick, fast. I've often made the analogy. Also, we talk about the phones. I like movies, and one of my favorite sci-fi movies is The Matrix. And I've always said it'd be great if you could just have the thing jacked into your brain, and within seconds you can learn a new knowledge or skill set and be able to use it. The scene where I guess Trinity, I need to learn how to fly a Bell helicopter. Boom! I know how to fly a Bell helicopter. That's the key. And with current technology and with all the information that's available out there for you, you can do that sort of thing. You can create a self-curated education program that will give you the occasional updates and system uploads that you need to keep yourself relevant and sharp in the rapidly changing dynamic environment that we now live in. We don't live in a static environment anymore, where an MBA degree decades ago actually worked and made sense. It doesn't make sense anymore because, again, all it is a credential. And honestly, it shouldn't take you years to get it. It's something that you can go and get in a matter of weeks, days. My belief is I can get you the knowledge and information in as little as a day, but I typically recommend that folks consider doing it over the course of a weekend. I am going to be putting out a course that will be in a fully accelerated course where you can do just that. On a Friday, you start it, you work on it over the weekend, and by Monday, you've got a new perspective, a new way of looking at things, and you've got deliverables that demonstrate your newfound abilities that can make a positive result in the real world, not in theory. And if you do that kind of thing, and I think, at the end of the day, that what's in it for me, you got to be asking yourself, what's in it for me? Why would I not want to go and get the degree? Why wait 2 years when you can learn in the course of the weekend and come up with deliverables that when you walk in and you hand it to a client, or you hand it to a potential employer, or you hand it to your supervisor, if it can, lays out a plan to increase revenues or save money somehow or launch a new product, whatever it might be, launch a new business segment, you're going to get, immediate results and returns on that. What kind of results and returns? I'm going to talk about, here it is right now. Here's the bottom line. You can get yourself a raise, you can get yourself a promotion, and if you're not getting proper consideration with your current employer or your current client, go to someone else and show them what you've done. You'll find someone who's a willing buyer, because if you can provide a workable solution based on knowledge and skills that you developed very quickly, you're going to get the results you're looking for, not 2 years from now and $200,000 from now with a traditional MBA. So when I am asked why a traditional MBA doesn't make sense, that kind of gives you a good feel for what the reasoning is. If you're interested in this kind of material and you want to learn more, subscribe to the channel. Please give us a like and give us a share. I always say to people, don't keep us a secret. We want to build a community of like-minded individuals that are looking to, upgrade and upload as quickly as possible, apply it even quicker, and get those results and outcomes that everyone is looking for. That, be even beyond a raise, a promotion, or a new job. just the personal fulfillment and satisfaction that you don't feel like you're doing the same old every single day. I like living on the edge and living with, things being exciting and different. I like being able to solve problems and challenges, and I'm sure you do too. And if you're going to think about getting a traditional MBA, don't delay things for 2 years. Do it in a matter of a week or two or less, and start living on the edge and making things happen. Because when you make things happen for others, things will happen for you. This is George Sloan. This is the MBA Accelerator channel. Glad that you are here. Want to see you and enjoy conversations and feedback from you as soon as you can get it to us. Please, I'm looking forward to sharing a lot more with you, and I'm glad that we're here and we have this moment together. Thank you.